All right, joining me now is Aldo Buttazzoni, a PragerU personality, and Ned Ryun, founder and CEO of American Majority. Ned, let's start with you. There's so much to be grateful for. I could have gone on for an hour just on that topic of gratitude, given what our country was facing under Kamala Harris. But what are you most thankful for this political year?
I'm grateful for Donald Trump's political
courage. A better
courage.
earpiece.
Yeah, thankful for a better earpiece, but I'm grateful for Donald Trump's political courage. Think about these last 3 years. A normal human being would have collapsed under the lawfare, under the multiple assassination attempts, under the constant hoaxes and collusions, nonstop attacks from the corporate propagandists. This man, the courage that he has shown, has given us a singular moment in American history to turn this ship around. You can see that optimism in the polls that you were talking about earlier, where 60% approve of his transition, because they realize that they now have a president-elect who actually wants to prioritize the American people in all things. No more bad trade deals. No more selling us out on immigration and destroying our country through systematic illegal immigration. Not foisting on us bad economic policies that have been crushing most of the average Americans. And he's giving people hope. And that is a powerful thing in life, Laura, where people now have optimism. They have the ability to dream that better days might be ahead. And I think this message has resonated with the American people because they realize the message for me, for Trump, has always been decline is a choice. We choose not to decline. We choose to be great because we believe that we can climb to greater heights of freedom and prosperity, and those days are coming.
All right, Aldo, we're thankful that Democrats won't win another election anytime soon because this seems to be what they're really focused on still. Watch.
The founding fathers, for a reason, said we don't want a king. We don't want a dictator. But what Donald Trump wants to do, just check it out, it's facts. He wants to emulate Vladimir Putin. If you go against them, you know, some of them in Russia, they fall out of the window. So that is what we're dealing with here.
So we're thankful for Trump and Musk and the voters and the young people. I'm not sure what he's doing there, Aldo.
Well, I love to see this. You know, the Democrats, they have no idea why they have lost. And I think a big reflection of the young support of Trump comes in where we're getting our information. I saw a recent Pew Research poll that showed that 86% of young Americans age 18 to 29 prefer to get their information from social media. So I think what we're seeing is a departure from the mainstream media, which is essentially run as the marketing wing for the Democratic Party for as long as we could remember. And we're shifting to independent sources of information. What do we see as young voters when we look at that? We see him working with people that were on the left or moderates, like RFK, who want to radically change the healthcare system and the food supply system in this country. We see him appointing people like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk to the new government agency tasked at cutting government waste, which we know is rampant in this country. Meanwhile, like you said, we just saw the Democrats go into debt, spending tens of millions of dollars on celebrity endorsements from people who haven't been relevant in 20 years. And so I think when the younger generation looks at what party truly wants to turn the page on the last 4 years, which party really wants to be unburdened by what has been, the choice is clearly the Republican Party. And I'm really glad to see that my peers...
Oh, that's so mean on Thanksgiving. Aldo, I can't believe you're going back to that unfortunate phrase. I mean, this is Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be positive and uplifting. But I have to say, Ned, there were a lot of conservatives over the last 2 years that would come on this show and be pretty negative. And they were pretty pessimistic about the future. But there was one person that knew he was going to win. And I think he pretty much knew if he was given a fair hearing in any platform, Trump knew he could win on the issues. And he was consistent on that. But a lot of people came on this program were like, oh, I don't think this can happen. I was like, the economy and the border, the two main issues. Plus, Trump is fun. He's a fun factor in politics. And my gosh, we need to have more fun in this country. It's too much negativity all the time.
Correct, and he also put in the work. Not only did he have the optimism that once the American people understood that he does have the solutions, he proved it before, he's going to prove it again, but they put in the work, Laura. His campaign was serious about winning, about doing all the right things, doing the absentee ballot chase, doing all the fundamentals to actually get him across the finish line first. So it was hope and optimism also with great discipline, and it was a tremendous combination. And
I think a lot of the people on the left for a long time, Aldo, had they poo-poo patriotism. Oh, that's cheap patriotism. That's cheap flag waving. That's reflexive, meaningless patriotism. But Newsweek did a piece that just came out about how Trump is making patriotism cool again, and Ned and I know this because the 80s were, I'm going back to fun because I think we don't do enough pursuit of happiness, frankly, in our country when politics is concerned. But he's making patriotism cool again. That was the 1980s, and that formed an entire generation's outlook on life and politics, and I think we need more of that in the country as well. Aldo.
Well, I'll just tell you a quick personal story. I was 16 years old when Donald Trump first started his campaign in 2016. I was in high school at the time, and I remember being in class, my AP US history class. The teacher used to give us assignments just for the white males to talk about our privilege. And so I remember that energy back then of him lambasting the men in the country and masculinity. And I used to skip his class to go to Donald Trump rallies in Michigan. And so I think that same kind of energy is back where young, disaffected men who have been told that their masculinity is bad, that they're toxic, that they're evil people just for existing, they finally see a president who not only is embracing them, but is telling them, hey, you can use your God-given talents, you can use what God has given you to make this country better, to improve our community, and to make America great. That's something that every American on both sides should be able to get around to. It's unfortunate that it took Donald Trump, but I'm so happy that he's back in office, and I'm really glad to see that my fellow Gen Zers agree with me.
Ned, really quick, don't you feel that people seem more optimistic? Again, I know I'm self-selecting here, but I feel it when I'm shopping and I'm going out in the grocery store. People just seem happier.
They do. They realize that Trump's got the solutions for driving down energy costs, driving down food costs, actually bringing stability, and dare I say, Laura, normalcy once again to this country.
Peace. Well,
That's
peace.
right.
I think peace, we need peacemakers in our society again. Aldo and Ned, both of you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family and friends.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.